Life's a trip and then you die. So what's the point? Let's get high on life. What else? And caffeine, I guess. Hello and welcome to episode 16. Is this 16 of the Digital Quill Podcast? It is 16. Wow. Hello and welcome to episode 16 of the Digital Quill Podcast with your host, Mars Wilson. I'm not going to do that bullshit line I usually do. What's the point? Today's episode is brought to you by ADHD, autism, a weird need to be seen and heard, content creation because we live in the 21st century and the internet rules all of our lives. It's not sponsored. I'm just listing off the various reasons why, besides all the other reasons why I'm doing this episode today. Just because I have to. I told myself I would, and I don't like telling myself I'm going to do something and then not follow through because that does not make me feel good. And the more I do that, the less it makes me feel good. And I don't like feeling not good. I don't know anyone who likes feeling not good, so we are done self-destructing ourselves, hopefully. No promises. And honestly, it's not even intentional all the time. Sometimes it's just life. But I am done making excuses and not doing anything about the excuses. For the most part. So yes, we are here again for episode 16. 16 fucking episodes. Wow, I must really love hearing myself talk. A little bit of self-deprecating humor for you. Sorry, I'm emotional. Apparently, when you sing certain songs, they make you hurt. And that one Ryan Mac song, Ayo, Ayo, if you could come back, would you say oh, you could be proud? Yeah, anyway, you know that one probably, maybe, I don't fucking know. Anyway, I use music to warm up my voice before doing this sometimes. Most of the time, all the time at this point now. At least we're 16 episodes into this. I don't think I haven't done it once. I did not warm up for the guest episode. That was the only episode I didn't warm up with. Nice. Okay. Cool. That might have been explained why I'm nervous. I don't know. Anyway. Yeah, I usually use music to warm up, and this time I was like, let's not use my warm-up playlist. Let's use a different playlist. And I went through my likes, and I was hitting certain songs, and I was like, oh, Memories. That seems like a good idea. Let's play that one right now. Not a good idea. Not a good idea. I think the next time I do warm-up vocals, it's just gonna be the normal sounds, the do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, and then, just the scales. Yep, it's gonna be the scales. I cannot allow myself to choose music because I cannot trust myself to not choose a song that's gonna make me cry and then be bitter and then act out on camera in front of everybody. That's going to take some getting used to, that my tattoo is over here, but it's right. Don't worry about it. So in episode 15, because that was another one of the episodes that I just needed to get done, and also talk about my second camping trip of my life, which I'm still reveling in, because I'm like, there was fire, there was humans, there was good food, there was conversations, there was memories, there was getting lost in the woods, there was progress on the book. It was a good trip. Now, the third one will have to beat the first and second one, because it can only get better the more you do it, right? Right? I really do want to try it in all different ways, camping. Like, one time I want to go specifically where, like, we focus on hiking, so no substances whatsoever except maybe coffee. And then another type of an excursion where we try some free-handed rock climbing. I am an outdoorsy person, and quite frankly, I don't want people to tell me No, Mars, you can't do that when it comes to using or doing something that involves having to use my body. I know my body. I am pretty comfortable with my limitations, and I'm trying to push my boundaries and, live a life that is worth living. So, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear, no, you can't go rock climbing without any formal training. My mother went rock climbing without formal training. Or like years of formal training. She climbed the eye of Joshua Peak, okay? With a fucking artificial knee. Do not tell me I can't do something. I will prove to you and myself that we are both correct. So do not test me, motherfuckers. Don't do that. We are going rock climbing. We're sailing the 7 seas, and we're gonna bring the heart back to Te Fiti. If my name is not Mars of Matatui or whatever, I don't freaking know. Sorry, I have Disney on the brain. I've been playing Dreamlight Valley with the new Alice in Wonderland update, and I actually took a miniature break from the book to play that because it was on my mind and it wouldn't stop being on my mind, and I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna play. And I ended up playing for hours because I ended up finding an app I could download that would help me with tasks, and once I downloaded it and figured out how much it helped, I'm like, oh, thank God. It made the gameplay so much easier, something that I've been complaining about for a while. But I do love that game, I promise. I do, as much as I also hate it. I don't hate Roots of Pacha or Moonstone Island or Calico or fucking No Man's Sky. As far as I'm concerned, Ark Survival Evolved, they ruined it. Bring it back to like 2018 to 2020. Whatever the fuck you did, like after with the Genesis bullshit, you ruined Ark. Like, give me back the basic bones. God, please. How dare you? I want my fucking dinosaurs back, damn it. Gamer rant aside, where was I? Oh yeah, Disney's been on the brain. I went camping. In episode 15 we talked about that. I have hardly anything for notes once again. I worked on these 2 days ago. But yeah, I took a break to play Dreamlight Valley because of the Alice in Wonderland update. I found an app that helped because someone mentioned that they also use an app that helps them, and I'm like, an app? What the fuck do you mean? An app? And then I looked it up in the Play Store, and I'm like, oh. Downloaded it on my phone and was playing the game while marking off things. Then I felt bad that I wasn't working on the book. But then I realized, I was like, wait a minute. This helps. I needed this. Because now I can stop thinking about it. I don't think I stopped thinking about it. But it's also, 8 in the morning now? Oh, it is. It is 8 in the morning now. Good job, Mars. I do have a handle on time. In episode 15, we talked about camping and stuff and social awkwardness. These notes I hate. They're boring. In the, I actually played back episode 15 to myself on my second screen. I had it set up while I was, like, writing out the description and shit. And, I was listening to myself, and I made a TikTok video about this. I don't think I posted, but I was listening to myself, and I'm like, are you sure you want to be saying those things? I started getting insecure and self-conscious, like really self-conscious, and I couldn't tell if it was because of what I was saying or because I was saying things. I couldn't tell if I was getting insecure and self-conscious while listening to myself because of what I was saying, and then I started thinking about it, and I distracted myself from, like, the description writing, and I'm like, I need to unpack this because I'm like 5 seconds away from not publishing this episode that I recorded on Monday. And I'm like, that would disappoint the ever-living shit out of myself. So I'm like, damn it, Mars, you're gonna have to get over this eventually. Just power through. You already said it. You already said the things. You can't take saying the things back. You've said the things before almost in the exact same way, so it doesn't matter, does it? You've said wilder shit. And you're going to say wilder shit. So, really? Is this what you're upset about? Push it. Just fucking push it. Just publish the goddamn episode because you are stupid. You are being stupid. I actually had to have a whole conversation with myself, and I you could literally see me fighting myself on my face, and it was like, just do it, Mars. You're gonna end up saying more stupid shit in the future at some point. Like, the idea is to limit the amount of stupid shit you say, but you're learning. This is what, only episode 15, 16? You're learning. It's okay to be a fucking idiot sometimes. Is it? Now I'm second guessing myself. Great job. I've gotten a few very I've gotten a few very sweet emails and messages and stuff regarding the podcast, and I hate the sour ones. They make me drool. But I've gotten a few messages regarding the podcast and when people listen to it, how much they enjoy it and how they like having it on in the background when they do other things. And thank you. You guys doing that keeps reassuring me that somehow by pushing myself, I'm actually doing something worthwhile. I mean, even if I didn't have that, I would still, like, end up looking back at my progress. But, like, I'm not just doing this for me, you know? Like, I'm not just doing this to get better at speaking and to learn how to enunciate myself. I'm not just getting better at or trying to do this for myself to, like, because I can or because I want to. Like, I also want to do this for you. Like, I know what it's like to be alone. I know what it's like to have so many thoughts and walls, and I know what it's like to be human. I may not know what it's like to be your version of human, but I know what it's like to be a human, and it's not easy. Sometimes it's one of the hardest fucking things we could ever do, and it means a lot to me that you guys reach out and say that stuff. So thank you. It means more to me than I can express in words and shares and whatever. Like, thank you. At the end of the day, like, I've said this before to myself and to close people and stuff like this, but at the end of the day, I don't care what really happens to me. I've been through so much. In one of the episodes, I think it's episode 9, like, I kind of dig deep into that a little bit, and I don't really care what happens to me at the end of the day. I mean, I do, because there's always going to be that human self-preservation survival thing, but I want what's best for everybody at the end of the day, because at one point I'm not going to be here. I don't know when, I don't know how, I really don't, but not anymore, at least. But at one point I'm probably going to leave people behind, and I hope that my story, my life, can help give people a better chance, an advantage, if you would. I think the small version of me would be really proud. I finally cleared out a lot of the noise in my head. And I was able to realize what it was that we wanted and what we needed. Because I think I had this realization this week. Sometimes we focus so much on what we want, like in a partner, in life, we forget to focus on what we need. What we need in a partner. Our wants change more often than our needs. Took me probably too long to realize that one, actually. And on that note, on realizing what you want, on realizing what you need, we're going to talk about change. I know that word probably just sent a sigh or a goosebump or something. I don't know. It probably just made you a little anxious hearing the word change. How do I phrase this? How do I talk about this? How do I get this point or this understanding or my perspective across? Give me a second. Do some breathing exercises while I'm thinking about this. Breathe in through your nose, hold to the count of 3, out through your nose, hold to the count. Well, breathe in through your nose, hold to the count of, excuse me. Not only do they make me drool, but they also make me belchy. You're a curse. You know that? You're a curse. Breathe in to the count of 3 through your nose, hold to the count of 3, and then release to the count of 3 through your mouth. Or just release, and then breathe in again. Depends. There are so many different breathing exercises, but that's a good one. We all dislike change. Change isn't always everyone's favorite thing on the planet. Sometimes change is scary, sometimes change is bad, sometimes it's unpleasant, unexpected. Sometimes it is expected. But change is inevitable. It is omnipotent. It is always, or omnipresent, something. It is always there. Always happening. Even in the things you don't think are changing, they're changing. And I have learned some things about change through experience and the hard way. And I remember I was with my best friend one time. We had gone to visit his mom. And I'm totally outing you, by the way, on this. I'm sorry. Not naming you, but if anyone knows you well enough, well. We have been friends probably my entire adult life. If not my entire adult life. I have like 2 or 3 other friends like that, but this one, we've been through some shit together, and we were visiting his mom one time, and the subject of change came up. And I remember we were sitting there, and his mom was talking something about how, some changes or something needed to be made. I forget what was exactly being said verbatim, but I looked at him and I said, sometimes change is necessary, sometimes it's a good thing. And this is also not verbatim, but he said you've had to change, because of some of the things that I've had to go through, some major choices and changes I've had to make to my life. And was kind of implying how he hasn't really had to change, and that's kind of when I bucked up with him a little bit, and I said, yes, I've had to change, but if I didn't change any of the things that I did change, I would still be exactly where I was at. Not in a good place. Change is uncomfortable. Change is the very definition of getting the fuck out of your comfort zone. Safely, of course. Don't put yourself in an uncomfortable place that is the equivalent of, I guess, railroad spikes. Or in my head, I'm picturing the fall away floor, and there's just spikes underneath this floor thing, and it's a thing. I'm sorry, brain thing, but don't put yourself in dangerous situations that you don't trust yourself in. And maybe not trusting yourself sometimes is okay, but you wouldn't run into a burning building, or I don't know. I don't have any examples for this. Just use your discretion. Change is a good thing sometimes, and being uncomfortable is a good thing sometimes. Just use your discretion. Get out of your comfort zones. It's not fun. As someone who does it often, it's not fun. Not often. Often enough. Not often. I want to do it more, but I also don't want to do it more. Anyway, we were talking about change, and I kind of bucked up with him about it, because I was like, you're not happy where you're at right now. You're just content, and I don't want that for you. I want better, bigger things for you than just work and home. I've heard him talking about wanting to get married one day. I've heard him talk about wanting kids. I've heard him talk about wanting a house and stuff. You're not gonna do that by not getting out of your comfort zone a little bit now and then. And change is a good thing. It can be a good thing, and sometimes we need to remind ourselves that when we're getting comfortable, when we are comfortable, sometimes we stagnate ourselves. And I'm not going to say stagnation is terrible. I'm not going to say stagnation is the worst thing ever. You should never stagnate yourself. Never. No, I don't like dealing in absolutes like that, really, but sorry, some strange things are happening on my desktop and I don't understand what's going on. Anyway, stagnation can have benefits. Usually very few benefits, but it's back to the conversation that I always have about polarity and duality. Without a little bit of stagnation, where is the growth? In order for new buds to bloom, you have to prune the dead buds, right? The dead buds are the stagnation at the moment. In order for the new buds to bloom, this doesn't make any fucking sense whatsoever, Mars, so just stop explaining what you see in your brain, because it's not gonna work. On the other note of change, sometimes we want people to change. I remember being a little girl, fresh after biological sperm bank did what he did. And I remember like wondering, why couldn't my biological parents change for me? Why couldn't they stop the drugs? Why couldn't they get clean? Why couldn't they be my parents instead of just biological egg donor and sperm bank? I was a little girl thinking this shit. Little. I was fucking less than knee height, probably. Maybe. No kid should ever have to think about that. About why their parents don't want them. About why their parents won't change for them. And it wasn't until I was a little older that I realized people have to want to change. You cannot change them yourself. You cannot force them to change. You will likely possibly be a catalyst in change, but you will not be the reason they change. Or at least not the person who makes the changes for them. People have to want to change. And it's not always easy. When you have a habit, habits are hard to break. Mindsets are hard to break. You have to want to change your mindset, and it's gonna be a battle. It's change. It's changing an entire mindset. Something that webbed its way into your body, into your being. It takes work, takes effort, takes energy. Sometimes you don't always have that. Sometimes you have to allocate it. Sometimes you have to choose and be selfish about it to change. It is not fair or fun or awesome that we can't change people, I guess. Or maybe that's not the right words. That's not what I'm trying to say. But it's not. You're probably like, I've probably thought this. You've probably thought this. It's like, well, you know, why can't they change? Why can't they change for me? Like, why can't their love for me be enough? And I don't want to say that's just how life is, but if you think about how you've had to change, how you've seen other people change, what you've seen other people endure, can you think to a single moment where it wasn't themselves doing the changing? Or yourself doing the changing? Because I can't really. And maybe that's just a symptom of a sad life, but I don't think so. The change comes from within. And I guess that's kind of part of knowing when to fight certain battles. When to step back and let people figure things out. And that's also kind of the hard part, because it's like, you're not always going to have those answers either. It's a lot of trial and error. It's a lot of touch and go. It's a lot of fuck around and find out. It's not going to be cookie cutter solutions every single time. And that does kind of suck, because you do want people to change for you. You want people to love you better, or lie for you, or anything. Like, there's so many things you could want someone to change for you, or change, and it's like, but do they want that? Does that align with their truth? Does that align with who they are? And at the end of the day, I think that's what we should want for people, is what aligns with their truth. As long as their truth isn't like being an evil piece of shit, or murdering and raping and pillaging, you know, just barbaric, evil, debaucherous stuff, then That's the price of freedom. Price of free will. Choosing your battles. C'est la vie, I guess. I keep reading my notes, hoping some wisdom will appear. So I guess instead, we're gonna get a little vulnerable. There's 100% chance that this could come back and bite me in the ass, because some things have before. And to some of my friends who are worried about what the fuck I'm about to say next, it's okay, I promise. This is kosher. In 2021, I changed my entire life. And for months afterward, and occasionally, but for months afterward, I cried myself to sleep. Kind of debating if I want to I'll do it this way. If you want the extra details, we can talk about it in Discord. Or wherever else I'll create the community for access. Because I'm going to be doing things for that soon, maybe. 31 minutes, Jesus Christ. Okay. And that being said, in 2021, I was living somewhere with someone close to me. And it was kind of iffy, half and half, that I was living there and also living with my partner at the time, and then partially out of my truck for a little while that I had before the accident. In 2021, in February of 2021, they got sick. Not the partner, the person I was living with. And it scared the shit out of me. They got pretty sick. They were in a lot of pain. They didn't want to go to the doctor. They didn't want to go to the hospital. And I had to make the executive decision for the both of us that either I took them or I don't know. So I ended up calling because I didn't have my truck yet. I didn't get my truck until after this. I didn't get my license until after this. And maybe I did have it already. I don't remember. It was so long ago. Some of the details are fuzzy, but I called the person I was dating at the time and I said, hey, we need to get this person in the hospital, like, now. Like, I need you to drop everything. We need to go to the ER. We get them to the ER. I end up going to a different hospital because the other ER was full. And, because it was after COVID, you know, I didn't have the ability to go back with them. And I really wish I could have. Especially for this person. And, turns out that they had pneumonia in both their lungs. It was pretty bad. One lung was functioning somewhere in the 20%. The other was functioning somewhere in the teens. And if I did not get them to the hospital that day, that moment, I would have lost them. They would have fucking died. I know that for a fact. I know that because of, one, how bad off they were and their age. I wait a little bit. I talk about getting some paperwork and stuff in order, and this time I'm kind of pushy about it because I don't know what's going to happen if they get sick again. And I'm not one to be pushy about stuff, especially things that involve, like, legal documents, because those are touchy subjects sometimes. You don't want to be pushy about those. I mean, I don't know, maybe you kind of do. I get screamed at. And I've been screamed at by this person before. I knew what it was like. I know what that felt like. But this time it felt different. It felt personal. It felt very personal. It felt real. Not just emotions being risen. It felt truthful. It felt authentic. And that's when it dawned on me that I couldn't help this person anymore. That I was just a band-aid. I was not an actual fix to any of the problems. I was just a band-aid, just a crutch, I wasn't going to be able to help them anymore, and they for sure could not help me anymore. So I had to make the decision. I had to do something, and that decision ultimately ended up me having to leave. I tried other things before that. In vain. I knew those things that I tried were in vain. But I tried them anyway because I wanted those as a better outcome than what I knew had to happen. I had to walk away. Cut ties entirely. And the reason I figured that out is I finally had my truck again. I had a license, I had a truck, I had means of transportation, so I wasn't relying on partners or friends to help me out with anything they needed. And I found myself in the routine every fucking day again. The same routine that I told myself I needed to get out of. And then I got into an accident. And I was no longer independent again. Entirely, at least. And then it was back to the routine of having other people help me, and that was killing me because it had been killing me for as long as it had been killing me, so I couldn't let it continue that way. I had to leave. That is one of the most major changes I've made in my life, the most recent major change in my life. As far as like major goes, as far as like red alert, like super duper category 8, like emergency type of change. And it still haunts me. I still think about how things might have been differently, how things could have gone. I still ruminate over all of the other scenarios. And I can't find a single solution that would have played out better or at all, other than the one that did. You guys will probably never see this. You guys probably could give a fucking rat's ass about me, but I still miss you and I still love you. Maybe that's my fault. I hope you guys are doing well now. Or at least better than when I was there. So yeah, that's my personal story about change and how it can be uncomfortable, but really good for you. Go ahead and ruminate about that a moment. So camping, huh? Camping's great. I've been twice. I've been once with one other person and then a second time with the whole group, and as much as I didn't like all of the activities, I had a really good time, and I'd happily go again. Same time, same place next year. But yeah, yep, that's change for you. I'm gonna need to talk about that one later. Great. I hope one day through doing this, one of two things. Either A, I remain as socially awkward and weird as I am, or get weirder and just get more comfortable with it, or I look normal. That's not gonna happen. I'm not gonna look normal. I'm just not. I wish that was a possibility, and maybe on all that talk of change it is, but at the end of the day, do I really want to change my entire personality just to please the internet? A bunch of strangers who don't want what's best for me? Nah, you're gonna get the full package, all of me, every bit of me. All the awkwardness, all the weirdness, all the dorkishness, all the hostility, all the niceness. You're gonna get all of it. Every single part of the human condition. Brought to you by Mars. Because now that you're paying attention again, you're gonna get all of me, because when I have you as a guest, when I'm hanging out with you at one of the future the Digital Quill family events, just be you. And that's probably gonna come back to bite me in the ass. It has at least twice. Just be you. Don't hide behind your stupid fucking masks that we all have to don in this society. And I get that's probably asking for a lot and also nothing at the same time, but yeah. Doing that practice, letting your mask go, letting your authentic self be, is a good way or a good practice of like stepping out of your comfort zone. Learning to be comfortable with who you are, and then also polishing that up. I am sorry for hitting the microphone. I really don't have any spatial awareness, apparently. I'm surprised I don't knock drinks over. I'm not trying to kiss you. God. "42 minutes, and I have nothing else to really add. I trauma dumped, talked about change, talked about the last episode. I did the thing where I ignored most of these notes. Here, take a look at these. Maybe you can make sense of my chicken scratch. To whoever is going to take care of my will at the end of my life, burn it all. Burn everything. Just put everything I've ever touched or owned in a giant pile and burn it. I'm kidding. I will have official plans. Maybe. Life's a trip and then you die. Let's fuck the law and let's get high. Don't do that. For legal purposes, this is a song lyric. Not actual advice. So now also that I have a microphone in front of my face, this one, I nosed it. If you're not watching the video and you need a visual description, I nosed the microphone when I said this one. But now that I have a microphone in front of my face often, and I've always been trying to get better at music and singing and my voice and everything, 'cause voice, yay. I am starting to procure sound clips and video clips of me singing to songs that I think I sound good at singing with, but final thing, and then we'll end it here. I hate talking about my mom sometimes. Really brings back painful fucking memories. But It's just grief, I guess. My mom did a lot in her life before she raised me. It's one of the reasons why I'll save that one for therapy. My mom did a lot in her life before she raised me, and I guess when you're born in 47, that makes sense. 1947. She was 8 in the 50s. My mom sung with musicians, bands. I forget who she sung with. My mom wrote music. My mom did a lot of fun and cool shit that I don't think any of us are ever gonna get to do. These 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s were a really wild time. And then the 90s, that's when shit really started to, like, get... I don't want to say bad, but if you think about how much freedom that our parents and their parents had between the 40s and 80s, would be interesting to, like, visit that, just to see what's going on, just to see the Wild West shit that people get up to. Maybe be a part of it, just for story's sake, just for the plot. And of course, when I was a baby, my mom wrote me my own lullaby, which I never got to record her singing, and that is a different painful topic for another day. But and of course, as a child with numerous fixations, singing became one of my fixations. Actually, before I decided on writing as my career, when I was between like 6 and 7, 8 years old, quite early to be thinking about a career, but I didn't have other fun, childish things to think about, so planning my life at the ripe age of 6 or 7. Yay. But I was just deciding between music or writing, and for the longest time, I always knew I was going to end up leaning more writing than music. I just had a feeling. But I also realized that I truly think I have zero talent for music and singing. But based on friends and my mother and my choir teacher from middle school and other things and voice lessons and my always unyielding, undying yearn for music, I think I might have just a smidgen of something there, skill or talent or something that I should explore, and truthfully, I'm never gonna see it. We'll probably end up recording a song of mine or a song that I sing or some shit, and I'll play it back and I'll be like, that's not me. You sure? We re-recorded this. It's a scenario I've made up in my head a few times, sorry. But yeah, like I'm always going to be interested in music, and now that I have a microphone in front of my face all the time, I've been practicing singing, and I'm always practicing singing, but like I'm actually trying to like do different things this time, like pay attention to the levels there, and at some point I'm gonna have to get comfortable with playing back my singing videos. Oh God, I don't know if I can do it. I don't think I can do it, guys. I have a hard time. I have a hard time playing back these ones, yet I don't have a hard time playing back my TikTok videos. There's a disconnect there somewhere. I need to figure that out. That's not productive. That's not productive or normal. I mean, TikTok videos are a different beast than this and me singing. Fucking sideburns. I have my hair pulled back because there's so much of it, and it's falling out. Any tips or tricks? Anyone want to be a vocal coach pro bono? Because I do not have the money to pay for vocal coaches, but I would happily take one if you are practicing trying to be a vocal coach. I have a computer, or not a computer, a piano. I should learn how to play that. Maybe I could teach myself how to sing correctly. I mean, that is how I was practicing my vocals back in the day with Do, Re, Mi, Fa, Sol, La, Ti, Do. That one song, By the Sound of Music, I think. Do, a deer, a female deer, Re, a drop of golden sun, Mi, a name I call myself. Yeah, I sung that one. I'm not trying to sing it correctly, so don't critique me. It's almost an hour. Goodbye. But yeah, nope. I think I made all the points about singing and music and microphone and video and trying to get better at this and tips and tricks and yep, that covers it. That covers the entirety of episode 16 of the Digital Quill Podcast. Finally, God, I can get back to my other fucking shit. I'm sorry. No, nope. You didn't hear me say anything. Thank you for watching this bullshit. Hopefully it'll be more interesting by the time we hit like episode 30. Maybe I'll have a better flow by then. I don't fucking know. On we trek. We've reached that end. We've reached that time. And I hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you for tuning into this episode. Thank you for listening to 16 episodes of me talking about random bullshit. Thank you for supporting the musicians and artists and creators and people that I present to you in my blogs and in my podcasts. And thank you for being here and being human. As always, humans of Earth. As always. Don't ever stop. Keep fucking going. We've got this.